beautiful, the good, and the true. Hans Balthasar's trilogy is divided into those 3 points, and this is his theological aesthetic, seeing the form. This is the introduction into the beautiful. Samuel Parkison, in his work, says that beauty is the evocative brilliance of the true and the good. So it is a transcendental, which means that it is objective, and truest of truest reality, which is ultimately God. The standard for beauty is God. He says, just like how things are true and things are good to the degree that they conform to, or to the degree that they participate in and reflect God's truth and goodness, he says beauty is the same way. Balthasar, in his introduction, says beauty is the word that shall be our first. Beauty is the last thing which the thinking intellect dares to approach, since only it dances as an uncontained splendor around the double constellation of the true and the good and their inseparable relation to one another. He says beauty has bid farewell to our new world. He says, no longer loved or fostered by religion, beauty is lifted from its face as a mask, and its absence exposes features on that face which threaten to become incomprehensible to man. He says, we no longer dare to believe in beauty, and we make of it a mere appearance in order the more easily to dispose of it. He says, our situation today shows that beauty demands for itself at least as much courage and decision as do truth and goodness, and she will not allow herself to be separated and banned from her 2 sisters without taking them along with herself in an act of mysterious vengeance. He says, we can be sure whoever sneers at the name of beauty as if she were just an ornament of the past, whether he admits it or not, he can no longer pray and soon will no longer be able to love. Balthasar says, in a world without beauty, even if people cannot dispense with the word and constantly have it on the tip of their tongues in order to abuse it, in a world which it is perhaps not wholly without beauty, but which can no longer see it or reckon with it. In such a world as that, the good also loses its attractiveness. But if man is to live in an original form, that form has first to be sighted. One must possess a spiritual eye, capable of perceiving the forms of existence with awe. Balthasar saw that beauty was the union of form and splendor, where the visible shape, the form, lets the invisible depth of God shine through. Beauty is the very way that goodness and truth present themselves to us in Balthasar's theology. Pope Benedict XVI, in commenting on Balthasar's theology and work, he says, of course we must not underestimate the importance of theological reflection, of exact and careful theological thought. He says that's absolutely necessary, but he says to despise on that account the impact produced by the heart's encounter with beauty, or to reject it as a true form of knowledge, would impoverish us and dry up both faith and theology. He says we must rediscover this form of knowledge. This is not only and not even principally a problem for theology, rather it is also a problem for pastoral ministry, which must arrange for people to encounter the beauty of the faith. Going back to Samuel Parkison and his work, Irresistible Beauty, he says that if beauty actually is objective, if it really is the evocative brilliance of the true and the good, then just like things like recognition of truth or recognition of goodness, it's something that can be cultivated in more or less mature ways. He says, but everybody, at least, knows what it's like to have their affections pulled without permission by beauty. And the fact is, whatever it is that elicited this recognition of beauty, it is participating in something. It is reflecting something that is deeper and more transcendent, something more infinite. It says everything that we experience is beautiful, and creation is beautiful because it participates in and reflects His beauty, and its purpose is ultimately to awaken our desire to be fulfilled in God. He says that all of our desires that are awakened in this life are ultimately intended to draw us to God. And he points to this leads to the aseity of God, which he also has a work on contemplating the aseity of God, who is of himself. He is simple, the God in whom everything else exists. He points to a realism metaphysic, a participatory metaphysic, that we as creation get all of our being from God. And then, and this is in an interview on a podcast, he quotes C.S. Lewis, who says, if I find in myself a desire that can't be satisfied in this world, it must mean that I was created for another world. The desires that are awakened by the beauty in this life are never going to be completely satisfied in these objects here and now that awaken these desires. And then he points to that God is not just the formal and efficient cause of everything, but also the final cause of everything.